Now at 7, an update to a story that made national headlines last month. New footage revealing the tense moments just before a Border Patrol officer opened fire, shooting and wounding 2 people in southeast Portland. We break it all down coming up in our top story. Plus,
the only thing that we really have to do in the short session is balance the budget.
Oregon lawmakers are back in session to fix a budget that's causing a bit of a traffic jam. How they are trying to hold ODOT accountable for how it spends your money.
And classrooms around the state combining 2 grade levels into a single classroom as they battle with budget shortfalls. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live with which school districts are being affected. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchik. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis standing by with a look at the weather and traffic. And another bit of a dry pattern here, Rod.
Yes, we've had some misty spots with fog this morning, but outside of that, the forecast is all bone dry through the day, Friday, actually into Saturday morning at this point. So this has been worsening, the fog down in Salem, at least looking at the state capitol. Temperature holding well above freezing at 36 degrees. Now from that fog spot to no fog, looking from the Wells Fargo camera eastward over at Mount Hood, and that's just a beautiful partly cloudy start. So really depends on where you are this morning, obviously. 41, everybody is above the freezing mark, so no worries about frosty fog this morning. We'll say on average about 39 out the door, 52 degrees at noon. We are expecting some cloudiness spilling into the area for a partly sunny afternoon, or maybe mostly cloudy. We'll see. Mid to upper 50s today for high temperatures. Here's Chris.
All right, thanks for that, Rod. Heads up in Columbia County, the Rainier School District on a 3-hour delay this morning, reportedly because of a power outage in the area. So Rainier Schools, again, 3 hours late for you. Back to the Freeway Drive, running a little slow on the Banfield right now, both directions through Hollywood. And I wanted to call your attention to that. That's I-205 heading south through West Lynn. That drive, something's hanging up the commute there. I don't know if we've got, maybe it's just a foggy kind of a drive here between Oregon City and West Lynn, or if we've got a fender bender unreported just yet. But you can see that southbound drive is a little thick right now crossing the Abernathy Bridge. We're up to 17 minutes now to get you in from Clackamas south to Tualatin. Matthew?
Chris, thank you. In our top story this morning, and one that made national headlines last month, we've obtained new surveillance video capturing the critical moments leading up to a Border Patrol agent opening fire in southeast Portland.
The shooting left 2 people in a pickup truck wounded, and the driver now facing criminal charges. Investigative reporter Kyla Boshi breaks down what happened and what comes next.
Never-before-seen video obtained by KGW shows the January 8th shooting involving U.S. Border Patrol in southeast Portland. The video, captured by nearby security cameras, has no audio, and we've zoomed in to show the incident. According to investigators, a federal officer shot a man and a woman after the truck they were in repeatedly rammed a Border Patrol vehicle. According to court records, federal agents were conducting targeted enforcement operations when they spotted the driver, Luis Nino Moncada, and his passenger, Yorlins Betsabeth Zambrano Contreras, in southeast Portland. The video shows federal agents in 4 unmarked vehicles making a traffic stop in the parking lot of an Adventist Health medical office. Nino Moncada, driving the red truck, pulls into a parking spot. Federal officers approach. Agents say after identifying themselves, Nino Moncada backs up, ramming their unoccupied rented federal vehicle. The video shows Nino Moncada driving his truck forward and then in reverse. Several officers told investigators they were fearful for their safety. A Border Patrol agent fired 2 rounds into the driver's side window, according to investigators. After the shots were fired, Nino Moncada drove off and called 911 for help.
That was Kyla Boshi reporting. Homeland Security says Nino Moncada and Zambrano Contreras both entered the U.S. illegally from Venezuela. Zambrano Contreras pleaded guilty to entering the U.S. illegally and was sentenced to a year of probation. Nino Moncada remains behind bars while awaiting trial on charges that include aggravated assault of a federal officer. More developments following last weekend's demonstration outside Portland's ICE facility. New video obtained by KGW shows the scene on Saturday afternoon as federal agents deployed tear gas while responding to individuals they say entered restricted government property. And this was the view from LaShonda Shaver's 5th floor apartment across the street. She says the gas filled her home.
I was having a really hard time breathing and trying to just get air in because I was choking and coughing on tear gas. They don't seem to care that we are just trying to survive in our homes when they are using these tactics. I mean, deploying these munitions, these chemical irritants and those flashbangs right next to our home, and we are not doing anything.
Outside the Grays Landing apartment building, damage can be seen where a projectile broke a third-floor window. Reach Community Development, the organization that owns the building, has filed a lawsuit against the federal government seeking to restrict the use of tear gas, saying it poses risks to residents' health and safety.
In an update, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem now says all DHS field officers will be wearing body cameras in Minneapolis. That follows growing calls for accountability after federal agents shot and killed Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. DHS has confirmed that there is body cam video of Preddy's shooting, though it has not been released. Several lawmakers have called the move to issue body cameras a good start, but say they want that policy written into law.
In Clackamas County, schools in the Colton School District will reopen this morning after they were closed yesterday so staff could deep clean.
This comes as the flu has been going around and numerous students and staff have been forced to stay home sick. The uptick in illnesses began 2 weeks ago during the Martin Luther King holiday. The Oregon Health Authority says statewide about a quarter of those getting tested for the flu are testing positive. In Colton, students have been coming to school not feeling well or calling in sick with symptoms like fevers, sore throats, and nausea. The district superintendent says this is the highest number of students out that he's seen in recent years.
We like to have kids at school, but predominantly we want them to be safe and keep all staff and their peers safe. So it's important that parents are aware of that, and we want our students to be at school when they're 100%, and if they're running fevers or feeling malaise or unwell, we like them to stay home.
Luckily, yesterday's missed school day will not need to be made up. The district says it plans for enough days just in case school does get canceled.
New this morning, a big change taking shape in classrooms across their area. More and more schools are turning to an unusual solution, combining 2 grade levels into a single classroom.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from Beaverton School District headquarters. So Thomas, all right, why are school districts doing this?
You know, guys, the main reason is that a lot of them are dealing with budget cuts and they're trying to figure out the best way to teach students while also being a little bit more cash strapped. Now, key thing here is this is not happening at all classrooms, at all schools or anything like that, but we are seeing it in Beaverton, Hillsborough, Salem, Kaiser, and other school districts across our area. And experts say this is not new. I spoke to Andy Saltz, the dean of Lewis and Clark's Graduate School of Education. He says private and rural schools have been, quote, blending classes, that's what they're calling it, for years. That means 1st and 2nd graders or 4th and 5th graders may be taught in the same class by the same teacher. Salt says these classes can work, but there's some caveats here. Teachers have to be experienced and also, of course, able to handle 2 age groups at one time. Salt also thinks this will become more common as we see fewer kids enter the school system.
We'll hear more about it as an option that school boards are considering. We have declining enrollments, and most of the demographers that I've talked with have said, you know, our school age population will continue to decline for the next 5 to 10 years.
And look, that's something that researchers at Portland State have seen expected to happen here in Portland as well, leading Saltz to believe this is a viable solution for some schools in some classes. He does say this works better for your younger students. Think 1st, 2nd graders, even kindergartners potentially. Once you get to 4th and 5th grade and ages above that, there are certain standards those students have to meet, and this just, frankly, he says, is not as effective. Guys.
Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thank you, Thomas. After months of renovations, the Hollywood Library will reopen next week. The newly revamped space on Northeast Tillamook includes new furniture, technology, artwork, and lighting. There's also a new automated handling system that the library says will get books and other materials to people much faster. It reopens next Friday, February 13th.
All right, taking a live look outside, courtesy of our Wells Fargo Skycam. Look at that beautiful sunrise. It's 7:09. Let's head over to Rod for a look at this forecast.
Well, hello. Yeah, that looked pretty, right?
It does.
We do have fog out there, so it kind of depends on where you are. And actually, the fog visibility map is pretty widespread. Everything colored in white here is showing at least some reduced visibility. Dense out in Hillsboro, 1/4 of a mile, and closer to 1/10 of a mile crossing the Columbia River out at PDX. But there's no fog on the east side, and that view we just showed you from high, on top of the Wells Fargo building showed the clearing off to the east. Now this is the Vancouver, the Springs of the Waterfront camera, and it's pointed down at the Columbia, and you can't see anything. So that's very foggy for that stretch coming in. But as you get into Portland on I-5, everything clears out, and you see it's quite lovely. Temperature out at PDX this morning, well above freezing at 41 degrees. Here's another view from the Chehalem Tasting Room, 37. Everybody's above freezing. That's the way it's been this morning, so not worried about icy or slick spots. 36 out in Hillsboro, but 46 in Happy Valley, and 36 in Salem. Silverton is at 49, 40 up in Estacada. Pretty good day coming. We have the morning fog, and then we'll get some mid to high level cloudiness spilling in for kind of a partly sunny or filtered sun afternoon. Could be 60 at the coast, 50s up and down I-5. Could be 60 in Bend today with partly cloudy skies. It is above freezing over the Cascade Passes this morning, and here's our 7-day. So minus any potential mist with early morning fog banks, we are all dry through Friday. In fact, I think tomorrow and Thursday will be perfectly clear as east winds pick up out of the gorge. We have rain returning to the forecast this weekend. Here's Chris.
Thanks for that. Something's hanging up the drive near the I-5, I-84 interchange. I want to zoom in on that real quick here. This is from near the Metro building, so we're looking right down on I-84, and you can see both ramps from I-5 to eastbound 84 running a little slow, so maybe give yourself an extra minute or two to get around that for right now. Not bad. Hopping over to Oregon City and Westland, there's your I-205 south commute heading over the Abernathy Bridge. Again, maybe the fog here slowing the commute just a little bit, and definitely foggy up in North Portland. That's I-5 up near Marine Drive. The headlights in that commute, that's the southbound drive coming off the Interstate Bridge, right where Rod was saying we were experiencing some of the thickest fog. 13 minutes in building your drive in from Main Street to the Fremont. China?
Thank you, Chris. Police have arrested a man that they say killed his mother in Salem. The 70-year-old's body was discovered Friday at a home on Dark Forest Place in the northeast part of town. Police say that the woman was found dead under suspicious circumstances. Her death is now being ruled a homicide. Her son, 43-year-old Aaron White, was arrested yesterday and now faces a second-degree murder charge.
After 5 years, a civil case involving allegations of sexual abuse against former Westland doctor David Farley has been resolved. Providence Health settled yesterday on the first day of trial following earlier settlements from Farley, Legacy Meridian Park, and the Westland Family Health Center. Attorneys say 174 survivors of Farley's alleged abuse now have closure, adding that the settlement holds these organizations accountable for failures that allowed the abuse to continue for decades. Farley still faces 16 felony sexual assault charges in an active criminal case. He has pleaded not guilty. And remember that help is always available. Just dial that number on your screen, 1-800-656-4673 to reach the National Sexual Assault Hotline anytime, 24/7.
Pizza? Pizza is amazing.
It's Italia, come on.
Everyone loves pizza, including Team USA. Coming up, several athletes from Team USA making their favorite pizzas ahead of the Winter Olympics. Don't go anywhere. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We are just 3 days out from the Winter Olympics. We're going to take you to, 5,500 miles northeast to Milan, Italy right now, where the Olympic Village is starting to fill up with athletes from around the world. The village has about 1,700 beds, along with a wide range of facilities for athletes to use. That includes a gym, wellness centers, and even a gaming area. But before heading to Italy, some of the athletes on Team USA wanted to get in on the Italian culture. And what better way to do that than with food?
That's right. So not only are these athletes good on the ice, but as it turns out, they're also pretty good at making pizza. Take a look.
My favorite cheat meal would probably be, I like a lot of pizza. I love pizza. Pizza is amazing. It's Italia, come on. Pepperoni. Pizza. Pepperoni. Pizza. Artichoke.
I love
black
pizza so
olive.
much.
Pizza's my favorite.
I'm a pizza girl.
Ricotta.
Pizza girl. Pizza girl. If the pizza's really good.
The more toppings you add, bacon, the more likely that it's gonna be bad. And then banana peppers.
All right, we'd like to see what your pizza making skills are.
Oh, wow.
It's a pizza party!
My head is really big, I think.
I used to work at Papa Murphy's.
What about when people do like the cool spinny thing? Is that?
Oh, almost hit the mics.
I guess we're gonna start out with some sauce.
Sauce smells really good, actually.
Salt Bae, cheese. How do you guys know all my favorite toppings?
Maybe an olive or two.
I present you the Speedy J creation. The Brenna pizza.
Bon appetit.
A Declan, whatever that is in Italian, the Decla.
Marino Deluxe pizza.
And I only made a little bit of a mess.
All right, what would you guys make?
You got to do the margarita.
You like that, okay?
Just plain, simple.
I like a good margarita. My go-to is pepperoni and banana peppers. Just,
I mean,
like a little
you know
something.
what I love on pizza is artichoke hearts, actually. I love artichoke hearts.
Okay.
But I'm pretty much a pepperoni sausage guy, but
Okay.
I do love artichoke.
Can I break your guys' hearts?
Oh boy.
And my husband.
Stop touching me, but go ahead.
I break his heart too. My favorite pizza. Oh, I'm gonna get some emails from that. Domino's.
Your favorite?
Period. Like, I have never had pizza better than. For me, I love the thin crust Domino's
Are they
with
a sponsor? Is that what you're saying?
pepperoni, pepperoni,
Oh
and
my
sliced
goodness.
tomatoes.
I'm guessing you had this a lot in college.
No, actually, I didn't start eating it until like 10 years ago, maybe.
Oh my
Really?
goodness.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I know.
Their
I know.
pizzas look. I like the good wood-fired oven.
Oh, I love a good wood.
Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah,
in my
it is.
opinion. Yeah.
It is.
I was told that I'm going to jail in my ear.
Our
Yeah.
producer, Michaela, I believe.
We're actually going to
Good?
finish
Yeah.
the show without you.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. Glad I have your support.
I can't support you on that. I'm sorry. I'll support you in a lot.
Well, there's a lot of fancy frozen pizzas if you go to the frozen section at the grocery store. And the one that I like there the best is one of the simpler ones, and it's just Tony's.
Yeah.
So
I like Tony's and Newman's Own. Newman's Own's a good one.
yeah, and I don't dislike Domino's.
Let's talk about pizza the rest of the show.
Favorite? I don't know. All right, here's our Mount Hood sky camera. 39 degrees. Not great news. At this point, moving forward, any day that's dry up in the Cascades, we're going to label as not good news. Better news than if it were raining up there, I suppose. It will be a dry day, and the weather conditions will be fine. There's not much wind up there, generally speaking, this morning. We do have a system offshore. It's not going to come in. All we're going to get from this is some spillage of these clouds in the flow pattern. You can already see some of these clouds starting to nip along the coast. So forecast models like 60 at the beach today, but if you end up being kind of overcast, I would think that would be hard to obtain. There's not going to be any moisture with these clouds, and Futurecast shows them kind of spilling across our area this afternoon. Now, once we get into tomorrow and also Thursday, we'll probably just be perfectly clear out there. Here is the Seaside live camera. So cloudiness just offshore. That's pretty. My goodness, look at the early morning sun lighting up the blue waters of the Pacific. 46 degrees is the number. Here's Lincoln City, a bit more of those clouds coming in, but still a nice morning at 48 degrees. Other temperatures, you have to go down to Eugene to find a 32-degree spot up and down I-5. Bend is at freezing, and then John Day, Baker City, and Burns. Pilton, good morning, 35 is your early morning number. So this is a dry day, early fog, then generally partly sunny with some of those clouds spilling in. Temperatures will be well up into the 50s. This shows 56 in Salem. Shows it could be 60 up in Longview today. We are looking for east winds to pick up coming out near the Gorge in East Clark and Multnomah counties. 7-day forecast minus any mist with early morning fog is all dry through Friday. And I really think we're going to be just mainly clear, at least in Portland, Wednesday and Thursday, meaning no fog the next couple of days. Rain chances return Saturday into Sunday. If we're lucky, we have some snow down to Cascade Pass level and maybe as low as 3,000 feet. Actually going into Monday morning over the high country. Here's Chris.
That would be something. All right, let's get you out the door. A reminder for folks in Columbia County, specifically the Rainier School District, running on a 3-hour delay we're hearing because of a power outage on this Tuesday morning. Back to your commute. The freeway drive, not bad. We've got our usual slow spots. I-5 from Clark County right now about 14 minutes to get you down to the Fremont Bridge from Main Street. We'll zip around a little bit, take you back over to the Oregon City commute. This is I-205 heading south into the fog over the Abernathy Bridge towards West Lynn, so that's running a little slow as well. Right now it's about 16 minutes or so to get you from Clackamas south to Tualatin. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The clock is ticking as authorities in Arizona continue their search for Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy.
She was last seen on the night of January 31st outside her home in Tucson and was reported missing at noon the next day. Police now say they believe she was taken out of her home against her will. Liz Kreutz has the latest.
This morning, authorities are urgently asking the public for help with any tips related to the disappearance of Savannah's mother, Nancy Guthrie. As the massive search continues for the 84-year-old,
I think she was abducted.
The Pima County Sheriff saying yesterday that Guthrie was taken from her home.
When you're taken from your bed and you don't want to go somewhere, that's an abduction.
The Sheriff's Department now saying he meant that figuratively and did not mean that she was literally taken from her bed. But according to the office, investigators do believe Guthrie was, quote, taken from the home against her will, which could include, quote, possible kidnapping or abduction. Overnight, the sheriff also reporting possible DNA evidence found at the crime scene.
We took some samples that we hope will have enough profile of a DNA profile that gives us some identification as to what we're looking at.
Police say Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday night when family members dropped her off at home where she lives alone around 9:45 p.m. The next morning, a church friend called family concerned she didn't attend Sunday service. After spending nearly an hour searching the home and property, her children called 911 around noon on Sunday. Police say Nancy Guthrie's cell phone and car were left behind, adding that she has limited mobility and needs to take medication daily or it could be fatal.
Oh, that's so cute.
Over the years, Savannah's mother has been a frequent guest on the Today Show, the two often sharing cherished memories and opening up about their special bond.
My mom and I feel like we really click as friends, too. It's just amazing what she's brought to my life.
Savannah posting overnight asking for prayers. Authorities not speculating on potential motives, saying their focus is on trying to track down the beloved mother and grandmother before it's too late.
It is a race against time, and that I hope that window hasn't closed.
Coming up in our next half hour, the second largest school district in Oregon planning to cut more than 100 staff and other services. What's in Salem Kaiser's proposal to slash $23 million. Plus, lawmakers in Congress hopeful that a deal can be made today to end the current government shutdown. What both sides are demanding coming up at 7:50. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW+. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Coming up on 7:29 on your Tuesday morning drive, I start with an alert actually in Columbia County for a power outage. The Rainier School District is running on a 3-hour delay because of said power outage, so just be aware of that. Drive times right now starting to build out of Clark County, specifically the I-5 commute, slipping through the fog right there near the Expo Center. It's about 17 minutes now to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. A little slow as well southbound from Gladstone to Westland over the Abernathy Bridge. Rod, once again, you can see some fog hanging in the air there as well.
Fog pockets kind of come and go. I don't think you're going to be in dense fog very long, generally speaking. The camera shot that I think is the prettiest of them all this morning. Look at the sunrise colors, and that's also some frost on the grass. That's out in Carson in the gorge. No wind because they have some frost out there. That's Elk Ridge Golf Course. Really pretty morning. Now, east winds will be picking up later today coming into the valley. Here's the fog where you can't see the interstate bridge from the Vancouver, the Springs to the waterfront. PDX is at 40. A partly sunny day developing. Temperatures generally will be in the mid to upper 50s this afternoon.
right, so earlier we gave you Stumptown Phil's prediction, but there was at least one furry forecaster who disagreed on the prospect of 6 more weeks of winter. In Albertville, Alabama, they called on a possum called Sand Mountain Sam to predict the rest of the season. And Sam says it's going to be an early spring. By the way, Sam has been doing this since 2012 and has made 15 predictions. And according to his handler, he's only been wrong once.
Buckeye Chuck agrees with him, so
Well,
got
but
2 against 2.
In Alabama, though, I would argue it's almost always an early spring.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't
Except for
looked
last
at their
weekend.
forecast.
Did
Well,
you see all the snow
Yeah,
there?
that's fair.
Yes.
So,
I'm not a big possum fan.
no?
That
Let's
seems
ask-
impossible. You get it?
Very good,
yeah,
China.
I got
Very
it.
good. Here's a look at the fog, which has worsened over the past hour or so in Salem, at least at this specific site, looking at the state capitol, which you can no longer see, and that's now in the light of the morning. 36 is the temperature, above freezing, not really looking for any difficulties of freezing fog. There's the rising sun about ready to pop up over the Cascades. No fog looking east from downtown Portland, obviously. We're at 40, so again, well above freezing. We'll lose the fog this morning, and then there's some cloudiness that will be spilling overhead. And again, it's tough to tell if that's going to be filtered sun, partly sunny skies, or more of a mostly cloudy day. Depending on cloud cover, mid-50s to upper 50s, and models say even some parts of the valley could get up to 60 today. Here's Chris.
Pockets. Do you microwave them or do you put them in the toaster oven? Like what?
Toaster oven.
Little marinara. All right. Heads up in the Rainier School District. You're on a 3-hour delay this morning because of a power outage. Back to our freeway drive this morning. We're busy, but we're moving along okay. Quick look at the drive times out of Clark County. Slow as you would expect over the interstate bridge. Rod mentioned the fog there. It's pretty thick crossing the Columbia. At last check, it's 18 minutes now to get you from Main Street to the Fremont. Here's another foggy area on I-205. This is near Oregon City and Highway 213. You can barely see the Abernathy Bridge there off in the distance, so obviously that's adding to some of the drive time there. 17 minutes get you south from Clackamas to Tualatin. Matthew?
Chris, thank you. The Salem-Keizer School District is once again proposing tens of millions of dollars in budget cuts.
This time, the district is looking to slash $23 million and more than 100 staff positions. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joined us now. And Thomas, the district has been planning to do this for quite some time.
Yeah, look, they've been looking to do this since back in November, and $23 million is not chump change, right? $14 million of that will come from schools, the rest from the district offices. Now, overall, we're talking about 129 jobs that could potentially be slashed here. This comes on the heels of a larger cut a couple years ago when Salem-Keizer, which is Oregon's second biggest school district, slashed $70 million and 400 jobs. Since coming on board as superintendent in 2023, Andrea Castaneda has been clear the school district desperately needs to get on better financial footing. Though as the district has cut costs, it's also dealt with falling enrollment. Castaneda has also been outspoken saying the Oregon legislature is just not giving enough funding to schools.
Oregon schools are responding to a very difficult combination of things. We've got declining enrollment, we've got escalating costs, and we've got a faltering Oregon economy upon which school districts rely. We cannot undo or change some of those pressures, so we have to respond to them.
Now, over the past 5 years, Castaneda says Salem-Keizer's enrollment has fallen by nearly 4,000 students. Still, even with these cuts, she doesn't expect student-teacher ratios to be impacted. The school district also plans to reorient staffing to lower levels to boost up literacy rates among its youngest learners. And right now, this is just a proposal. It has not been finalized. Before it's finalized, the school district says it plans to have a survey, reach out to community members, and even hold events to gauge their reaction to this idea, as once again, Salem-Keizer is looking to cut its budget. Matthew, China.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thank you, Thomas. All right, with a short legislative session now underway in Salem, lawmakers have just over a month to try to deal with major budget shortfalls in the state.
One of the biggest issues this session continues to be transportation funding and filling a nearly $250 million gap in ODOT's budget. Alma McCarty has the latest from Salem.
The Senate will please come to order.
Day one of the short session in Salem complete.
The House will come to order.
For the next 5 weeks, lawmakers will grapple with a series of issues: housing, immigration, public safety, education, and more.
At the end of the day, the only thing that we really have to do in the short session is balance the budget.
And one of the most pressing problems resurfacing at the Capitol, transportation funding, and closing a $250 million funding gap. It's something Democrats thought they'd done during the special session, but that funding was frozen with a Republican ballot challenge of several of the taxes and fees. Republicans are banking on voters shooting down those new fees and insist they can get ODOT on track without them.
There's no question that we can balance ODOT's budget with existing resources.
During a Monday night Transportation Committee meeting, senators didn't get into budget details, but did learn more about a pair of bills designed to increase accountability and transparency at the Oregon Department of Transportation.
These two accountability bills can help get everyone pedaling in the same direction, urban and rural alike, so people can trust that the basics won't be sacrificed for projects that we can't afford.
Policymakers say the first sets standards to make sure major projects actually meet the state's transportation goals, scoring those projects on criteria like safety, climate impact, and cost effectiveness. The second would establish strict oversight to improve how ODOT manages debt, budgets, and projects.
There are significantly more projects and maintenance needs than there are resources. And again, that's not profound. And when this is the case, we need a really clear system for how we spend our money based on the areas of greatest need. And the truth is, as we all know, we don't have that system.
We just got some new economic numbers from Oregon. Oregon's unemployment department says the state lost jobs in 2025 and the unemployment rate went up to 5.2%. That is the highest it's been in about 10 years when we're not in a recession or just coming out of one. Oregon's Office of Economic Analysis thinks that the state will add jobs this year, but probably only a small amount.
And in an update, about 2,200 workers in Washington will be affected by Amazon's latest round of layoffs.
According to the state, the workers will be let go beginning April 28th. Last week, the company announced that it was cutting 16,000 jobs worldwide. Those impacted will have 90 days to look for other openings within Amazon. The company says that those who don't transition to other roles will receive severance, benefits, and career support.
Sadness. It's almost time to go hiking up this thing.
At 4,000 feet, Ski Bowl is looking less and less like winter with rock and dirt exposed all over the place. Skiing and riding at Ski Bowl is suspended indefinitely because of the lack of snow. Tubing Park will remain open. Some ski shops are seeing the impacts.
It's been slower. We've been down a little less than 40% of sales, but we've been doing okay. We've been holding on. Our employees are still working.
While it's been rough in the lower elevations of the mountains, there's still plenty of snow up top. Some are hopeful that things will turn around for the last few weeks of winter.
And speaking of skiing, in an update just into our newsroom, Lindsey Vonn announced this morning that she will compete at the Winter Olympics beginning this week. This comes after she crashed in a downhill event last Friday. However, Vonn says that she ruptured her ACL and has bone bruising, but adds, quote, "As long as there's a chance, I will try." Her first event comes on Sunday in the women's downhill. That does not sound great.
Usually when you hear that, it's
ACL.
I don't know how you ski with a ruptured ACL, but man.
I'm assuming that'll be tightly packed in her boot. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Matthew.
I don't know either, but yeah, good luck, I guess.
Well, yeah, we wish her the best. That's just, rotten, right? Here's our Seaside Live camera. The coast is going to be, if you folks get enough sun, filtered sun today, you will hit 60 degrees. If the clouds thicken up on you this afternoon, which they could, you'll hold in the 50s. But certainly a beautiful morning. Again, that's our Seaside Live camera. Here is a look at one of the foggy spots in Salem. You cannot see the Capitol because of the fog. Temperature holding at 36 degrees. A second really foggy spot. The Interstate Bridge is right here. Basically, you can't see it from the springs at the waterfront. Again, well above freezing at 39. And then you come into Portland and it's fantastic. Partly cloudy skies up top. Looking off to the east, you can see the rising sun. Temperatures, again, not an issue here. 39 in Camas, 45 in Troutdale. We do expect winds to at least become noticeably breezy coming out of the gorge later today. Not so much the case this morning. And again, everybody's above freezing. There's 36 in Hillsboro this morning. Salem matching that. Well, McMinnville's now down to 33. So obviously you folks are right there to perhaps putting 32 in the record book for today. Rainbow is our pet of the day. And I am told this is a gorgeous red-foot tortoise. I want to get it right. That's really pretty coloring. Pet of the day at kgw.com is the email address. Send us your pet's photo and we'll get them on the show. Here's our weather map for later today. Again, this likes filtered sun at the coast because it's showing Tillamook 64 degrees. Good grief. 50s up and down I-5, and then quite a bit of sun central and eastern areas today. Bend gets up to about 60 degrees. Portland looking for fog to partly sunny skies. Could be as warm as 59. All clear tomorrow and Thursday as east winds pick up out of the gorge. We're dry through Friday. We have some weekend rain arriving during the day on Saturday. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Rod, you mentioned the fog near the Interstate Bridge. How about the Glen Jackson Bridge? This is I-205 near Airport Way. Fairly thick fog there, and it looks like we may have a fender bender on the southbound span of the bridge. This is a snapshot from SR14, and you can see that southbound commute and the taillights lighting up as they slip into that dense fog pocket, which is basically right over the Columbia River. So with that in mind, both drives out of Clark County are up a little bit. Elsewhere on the freeway system, we're up to 25 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough on Highway 26. The westbound drive from Troutdale, 25 minutes on I-84. The trip in from Wilsonville moving along at about 45 miles an hour at last check. Matthew, back to you.
Chris, thank you. Before we go to break, we do want to make a correction to a story that we aired Friday at Sunrise. We mistakenly reported that 65% of all people moving last year moved to Oregon.
Oregon instead led the nation for the highest ratio of people moving into the state versus out of it. So 65% of Oregon moves were inbound versus outbound, which was the most in the country. Of cities in the state, Eugene led for inbound moves. So we do apologize for any confusion there.
Still to come on Sunrise, the Seahawks super fan right here in Vancouver. We'll have a look at his passion for his team coming up when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
The Seahawks are in California this morning getting ready to play on the biggest stage in football. Seattle entering the Super Bowl on a 9-game winning streak. Last time they faced the Patriots with the Lombardi Trophy on the line 11 years ago. The Patriots came out on top, but this time around, the Seahawks are determined not to let that happen again.
That's right. At the opening night last night, they told us they're treating this huge opportunity like business as usual.
To be in a hotel with your boys for a whole week is also pretty cool. So we're enjoying the moment and preparing exactly the way we would for a regular game.
Some lucky fans were also part of the opening night to show their support for their favorite players. And this morning we're also meeting one superfan from Vancouver planning to head south to Santa Clara later this week. He's even won awards for his enthusiasm. Drew Mickelson went to meet him.
This is a one-of-a-kind, the Tyler Lockett.
When Larry Bevins' daughter moved out, he had big plans for her bedroom.
I got Lofa Tupu, I got Steve Largent, I got Cam Chancellor.
This 12th man cave in his Vancouver, Washington home has all sorts of memorabilia, but he doesn't only have stuff.
You have the big wheel, Pike's Place, and the needle.
He's got Seahawk ink everywhere.
What used to be called the Clink, now is called Lumen Field. And then just the skyline of Seattle. And then I had a flag drawn up.
His fanaticism has been well documented, not only for his swag and tattoos, but for his community service as well.
My friends actually got this for my birthday after I won Fan of the Year.
The NFL named Bevins the league's official Fan of the Year in 2022 after decades worth of work as a foster parent. That honor enabled him to announce the Seahawks draft pick that year when they selected Jackson Smith-Njigba.
I wish it was Thursday and I was already there.
Right now, all he can think about is Super Bowl Sunday. He flies down Thursday and hopes his lifetime of service and fandom pays off.
It'll be all Seahawks related all week after that until I get home. And then it's parade time.
So we'll have coverage every night leading up to the Super Bowl here on KGW and KGW Plus. Each night at 8, check out our Countdown to Kickoff special on our free streaming app. And remember that you can watch the big game on NBC. Kickoff, Seahawks versus Patriots, is 3:30 Sunday afternoon at Levi Stadium right here on KGW.
I gotta say, I'm loving the Pacific time when it comes to sports.
Yes.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
3:30 kickoff? That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
nice.
I worked in Cincinnati before I moved here to Portland back in the 90s. And we were an ABC station when Monday Night Football was on ABC, and I did the 11 o'clock news.
You go on at
It could be,
12:30.
if it was an overtime game, I would get home from work until like 2:30 at night. I'm like, this is nuts.
I know, it's nuts. Yep.
Thank you.
Nope. I'm good.
All right.
Extra sleep. It's great.
Super Bowl here on KGW Sunday. We have clouds offshore with the weather system that will not march inland, but the cloudiness from this will be spilling inland, and it's tough to tell if the clouds will be thin for filtered sun or if they will thicken up somewhat. Best chance of thicker cloud cover, I would assume, would be the closer you get to the coast, which right now is partly sunny and really beautiful this morning, but there are the clouds kind of spilling in. So we'll see what we end up with or not. I do believe we'll be pretty much perfectly clear in Portland, Salem, and Vancouver, and at the coast for that matter, tomorrow and on Thursday. Right now, beautiful sun over the summit of Mount Hood. Timberline is above freezing, 39 degrees, holding on to a 36-inch base. Meadows reporting the same base. Here is the fog out in Washington County. This is the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Low, and if it weren't for the trees sticking up, you couldn't see a doggone thing. It's 36 degrees, so not frosty, just really foggy. And there's the sun bouncing off of, looks like the Ritz-Carlton downtown, Portland right there. You can see some cloudiness over the city, but clearly we have brightness off to the east. 40 and fog, that is at PDX out along the Columbia River. And for those of you commuting in, or either way on I-5 across the Interstate Bridge, it's really foggy for that strip. Otherwise, 44 up in Kelso this morning. Newport's at 50. Bend is freezing. Eugene is 31. 32 out in John Day. We've seen McMinnville at the airport drop down to 33 this morning, but most of the valley is holding above freezing. Pretty good day coming. Not much wind overall unless you are near the gorge where east winds are expected to start picking up gradually during the day. Otherwise, we'll look for partly sunny skies. This shows you folks in Salem getting up to 57 degrees. Southwest Washington, could Longview hit 60? This is a warm air mass. If we get enough sun this afternoon, temperatures will soar up through the 50s. East winds again picking up near the gorge, 10 to 25 miles per hour. We'll see those gusts closer to about 35, I think, tomorrow and on Thursday. Portland, if we get enough sun, again, it's hinged on how thick those clouds are spreading inland later today, 59. I've got 30s at night, 50s during the day, and all sunny for the most part tomorrow, Thursday, into Friday. And then rain returns. I think we're dry early Saturday, then rain picks up in the afternoon. There's a front going into Sunday. Could have snow down to Cascade Pass level eventually, later in the day, Sunday into Monday with sun and showers. Next week, by the way, looks fairly active, and we think we get some mountain snow, so that's good news. Here's Chris.
It's celebrating that. All right, Rod, let's get you out the door. A reminder in Columbia County, the Rainier School District on a 3-hour delay because of a reported power outage in the area. Back to our freeway drive, we've got the fog on the east side. We've got fog over the Interstate Bridge as well. We'll show you I-205 right now. This is a nice little snapshot from WashDOT. You can see the fog off to the south and the drive pretty slow. Now, we had an earlier report of a fender bender in there. It looks like whatever was causing that delay has cleared a bit, but we're still running a little thick on that side of town. 20 minutes gets you in from Padden Parkway south of the Banfield. I-5, of course, normal slow and go over the Interstate Bridge. That's about a 20-minute commute to get you in from Main Street. And we'll take you back over to Lentz. Here's I-205 near Foster. Slow and steady from Clackamas to the Banfield, as always. We'll be right back.
The House is working today to end a partial government shutdown before the effects ripple across the country. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest on that coming up and the move to equip federal officers in Minneapolis with body cameras.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Weeks since the House last met.
Taking a live look at Capitol Hill, where the House is in session right now. Lawmakers currently trying to negotiate a deal to end the government shutdown. This comes as Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says federal officers in Minneapolis will soon be issued body cameras, with plans to expand that nationwide.
It's one of the demands Democrats are pushing for. NBC's Alice Barr has those details.
The push is on today to pull the federal government out of a partial shutdown, with some federal workers furloughed once again. House Speaker Mike Johnson sounding confident he'll have the votes to change that.
We got FEMA and TSA and troop pay and everything else wrapped into this, so we've got to get the job done.
The House will be in order.
The House is set to vote today on a Senate-passed package that fully funds most of the government, but the Department of Homeland Security gets just 2 weeks of funding and a tall task in that time for lawmakers to negotiate reforms to immigration enforcement, with Democrats calling for dramatic changes amid unrest over the shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal officers in Minnesota.
The American people are correctly demanding accountability. The American people want to see the mask come off.
One demand already met as the Homeland Security Secretary announced body cameras for all federal immigration officers in Minneapolis, with plans to expand that nationwide as funding allows. President Trump backing the move.
They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening.
While also calling on both sides to pass the funding package with no changes and promising to work together to address issues raised. Though reaching agreement on the future of ICE won't be easy, with Republicans not backing down on their immigration crackdown.
If the Democrats want to throw out these ridiculous proposals that make it harder for ICE to do their job, that's just not going to happen.
The hope now to avoid a prolonged standoff. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And the shutdown has put some key economic data on hold, including the January jobs report. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that data will be delayed until funding is restored. The government partially shut down Friday into Saturday, with the Senate failing to pass funding bills in time, and a vote from the House is set for today. The president is urging both Republicans and Democrats to send it to his desk without changes and, quote, without delay.
And the IRS says 75,000 employees will continue working through the government shutdown, at least for now. The agency says that staff members are being paid through February 7th under the Inflation Reduction Act. What happens after that's unclear. But during last fall's record-long shutdown, the IRS initially kept all employees working, but they furloughed more than 35,000 staffers a week into the impasse. That shutdown did not happen during tax season, but it came as the agency was racing to implement major tax changes.
The man charged with killing Charlie Kirk has a hearing in Utah State Court today. It's over whether the prosecutor's office should be removed from 22-year-old Tyler Robinson's case. The defense argues the prosecutor has a conflict of interest because their 18-year-old child was in the crowd when Kirk was shot. The county attorney's office denies a conflict of interest and says the adult child didn't see the shooting or anyone with a gun.
In other national headlines, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify in a House investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. The couple initially refused to appear before the House Oversight Committee, but the committee then voted to approve contempt resolutions against the Clintons. Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with a now settled lawsuit 5 years in the making.
How the settlement is not only bringing closure, but holding organizations accountable for decades of failures.